Hi, don't mind me. I'm just watching Evening Sonata write down how to properly write a epilogue story 1,000 times. At Knight's insistence, he was going to a barbecue. It'd be an excuse to use the max-size green egg he had apparently bought 2 years ago, as well as a chance for him to show off his own cooking talents. He also insisted that no one helped, because apparently barbecuing was traditionally a man's thing. It was going to be sexist just for tonight, and not for a house almost entirely with ladies and residents to hold it against them. Sunset Lad had conjured up enough meat for her father to take care of that, as well as creating a large enough picnic table that they could set up on. The well manicured grounds, apparently landscapers came by once every other week to take care of it, were pristinely kept. So Sunset decided to put the table within range of the swimming pool so people could enjoy a pool party as well. How are you feeling? Sunset asked Raspberry as the latter helped her conjure up side dishes for the whole thing. How do you do it? Raspberry asked. Right now, I've got this wad of something stuck up my. Yes, Mom told me about you went into your cycle today. And yes, I know it's scary. I was freaked out about it the first time it happened. Hell, probably every girl has. Are you in a lot of pain? Just a small stinging sensation of soreness. Why? Sounds like you got off light. Some girls get real bad. When she has them, Flare's eye starts popping anvil like it's candy. Look, I don't want to get off light because I don't want it at all. Like, you can send me home. Birdie eyes grew with worried. Is there even a home to go back to? Raz, please calm down. I'll check tonight, okay? I've had a very busy day and I'm still getting adjusted to everything that's changed in, well, everything. There's healing. I didn't see him at all. What if that's the time they erased him or left him behind in Equestria? Raz, calm down. I know you're worried, but trust me, everything's gonna be okay. For you, maybe. What about me? Sunset hugged her friend. Because I know it will. I'm an alicorn now, so I know these things. She smiled. Besides, if I wasn't, I don't have to know. They just happen. Raspberry felt a slight weight on her shoulder, turned to see a sizable green canary land on it, warbling a song of happiness. The girl then started to choke up at the sight of Heliodor standing there, unharmed and happy. Go spend a few minutes with him, okay? I can take care of the rest of the scientists. You sure? Sunset picked up one of them. I take you like cake salad? Absolutely. And especially with mixing with bluegrass. Why? Both of those are inedible to humans. Oh. Sunset giggled and changed the dish to a pasta. When Raspberry walked off, all but hugging her charge as they happily reunited. Looks like you did a good deed. Sunset turned to see Velvet standing there, carrying a tray of vegetables and dip. Gonna be ready, Mom? Velvet nodded. I suppose it will. Oh, and by the way, you have a diesel gift here. Is that going to be a problem? I don't think so. It's the other Sunset Shimmer in our family. Meanwhile, Equestria was in mourning. Mourning both the dead and the wounded, the incalculable damage done by Tirak, and the loss of one of its heroes. But within the palace, things were far more personal in Greece. She lost herself in, Luna said to Keynes in Shining. She's convinced that something happened to Sunset on the other side of the barrier. And furthermore, I don't think she's wrong. Keynes had a confused look across her face. How so, Auntie? Once I was informed that the god had found her babbling incoherently about Sunset, I immediately attempted the experimental spell Twilight and I had been working on in order to reopen the portal, the Dialcorn explained. And though I managed to get it open, while an unrestrained Mastic blasted out the mirror like a jet, it took everything I had to get that thing closed before we had extensive thaumatic to reunique it. Unrestrained magic? Like chaos magic? Something asked. No, different. It's like the dimension on the other end isn't there anymore. When the other two gasped, Luna raised her hoof. It may be that, but it also might be a case of broken interdimensional lanine. What happens when a lanine is broken? Kids, originally having been a Pegasus, now that it's canon, woo before it became an alicorn, looked likely at her aunt. Shining, having been a unicorn all his life, answered, a broken ley line causes temporary thermic radiation leakage, which substantially changes the magic profile of the area. Most of the time, it's a temporary condition, and things return to normal within a few days as the ley line heals itself. Correct. But sometimes it also remains permanently ruptured, which is why the Everfree is the way it is now. But doesn't current thermophysics state that ley lines should be impossible between elevated planes? Shang asked. It does, but it's wrong, Luna told him. Also, the creation of Partner's Mirror, Starswell intensely spread a rumor about that. He had concerns that if advanced mages realized it was possible, it would cause multiple incursions between our world and others. Given the existence of Starbuck's Mirror, clearly he was correct about that. So at best, Sunset's dimension is unavailable for the foreseeable future, Keane's saying. And at worst, alive or not, she's gone. I don't want to be the one to tell Sandy that. Not when she finally accepted that she should have adopted Sunset. The look on Luna's face was grin. Nightmare Moon was created because of my anger, jealousy, and fear. What happened if Celestia went over the edge? I hope we never had to find out. So do I, Cadence. So do I. The three were silent for the longest time before Cadence said, I should go talk to her. Be careful, Cadence. I feel she's in a very bad way now. A way that she hasn't been since the day she lost me. Cadence finally found Celestia not in her quarters, but Sunset's. Cadence had never been in the Unicorn's room before, and she was surprised to find out it wasn't as ostentatious as he thought it would be. In many ways, it was even more plain-spun than hers had been when she lived there regularly. Auntie, my fault. The words were soft. Cadence almost hadn't heard them. She turned, and there, lying against the bed with her head on the mattress, was Celestia. She looked paler than normal. Her hair color was muted and dulled. She seemed she'd been taken down a peg somehow, and given what she believed, maybe she had been. My precious filly, I never told her that enough. She whispered to no pony and every pony. Never told her enough how I loved her. Never gave her the support I should have. Was always too much the ruler, never the mother. And now I can never change that. She knew. Seeing her art like this crushed Cadence, so much so that the younger Alicorn wondered if Celestia wasn't the only princess at fault for pushing Sunset in the direction she went. I chased her away. I never saw her grow into the mare she's become, and now I never will again. Auntie, please go, Cadence, before I ruin your life as well. Cadence went over and hugged her aunt. You didn't. You haven't. Sunset understood. Celestia wept once more. An empty mare, and Cadence couldn't help but weep herself, seeing her beloved aunt and mentor in such a state. You better be alive, Sunset, Cadence thought to herself, or else our world is going to fall apart. In a reality now gone, Sunset remembered the house was about a quarter-acre on a lot, if she recalled right, and now around the block was similarly sized homes, but that was in the past, no longer the past. Now the house itself was tripled in size and sat on a 6-acre homestead. A small portion of which were trees that were technically part of the Everfree Forest, even if not part of the Everfree National Forest or Everfree State Forest Reserve. And now, she walked the tree line, accompanied by someone she never thought she'd be standing alongside. I should hate you, Simmer said in a matter-of-fact tone. I really should. You stole my life here. Hell, from what one of your friends said, Compass the Rose isn't even enough with you. She used to be my bestest friends when we were children. Did you know that? The look on the short face was not of anger, but of resignation. I really should hate you, and I know I shouldn't, because you literally died to save me. I didn't know, Sunset replied in an apologetic tone. You had no way of knowing. From what you said, you didn't even know I was still alive, thanks to the old newspaper articles. She laughed. Mom showed me to me once. They were so badly written, it does imply that I had died as that of an officer brought me home within an hour. I guess that shows why the Canterlot Star Herald is out of business now. So if you hate me, then why? I said I should hate you, but I don't. Even if I did, really, I don't have that right. We have a saying in France. Si un compagnon fou, sauf la fée en padron dans une maison, les adorés ou by Cameroons. If a burglar saves your life when he breaks into your house, Do you then erase them properly? Sunset translated. You speak French, Simmer said, with realization here split looks like a linger. She threw up her hands, muttering, Of course you speak French. You're perfect at it all. I guess it comes with the territory. Believe me, I'm as smart as you are. And I'm not perfect, Sunset. Simmer, if you must, or Shimmy, preferably. I don't really like my first name, and only my mother calls me that. That caught Sunset's attention. Oh, why's that? Because my father used to take me out at dusk and tell me that there were beautiful sunsets, but only one beautiful sunset. And after he died, I didn't want to hear that from anyone ever again. Simmer wrapped her arms around herself as a sad look came over her face. For a while, I believed the car crash was my fault. And now, after what I've been through, I don't know anymore. I'm sorry for what you had to go through. It's not your fault. Your father wanted my mother, and my father was in the way. If the accident was true, then he could do so with a clear conscience. And if it wasn't, he was already unworthy of my mother to begin with. Sunset silently nodded, then told her counterpart, As you had a father that loved you. I didn't until I came into this family. Simmer looked at her with surprise. You didn't? No, truth be told, I'm a foundling. Twice over, in fact. And an exogam. Exogam? Archaic term for a female without a father. Nowadays, I'd be called a bastard, just like a boy would. We still use the term in Equestria, though. I lived in an orphanage until I was 6, and my plastic flare caught the attention of the princess. If not for that, I would have been no pony in Equestria, of unknown parentage, raised by the orphanage until I could get into an apprenticeship program. Apprenticeship program? Equus is about a century behind Earth in progress in most respects. The school system is highly developed, providing you have the right connections. The princesses are trying to prove that. But, just like when progress happened here, well, people don't like change, whatever species they are. I see. She loved me, and I blew that. I made up with her since, and it was hard lying to my mother here that I still have a mother at home. Fortunately, grandmother forgave me for that, and hinted that it was okay for me to forgive my own guilt. I don't have to choose between two mothers or two families, because it's what I needed. And that sounds familiar, Simmer told her. My Uncle Nobilis has been a father figure to me because I grew up without mine. So I kind of understand your situation. I just never thought it would apply to more than just that myself, if it makes sense. It does to me. It does. The two were quiet for the longest time before Shimmer asked, So, will we just vaporize if we touch something? No, that's not how it works. We're both Sunset Shimmer, but we're not the same person. From what I'm told, if it doesn't even work that way in time travel. Simmer looked at Sunset with disbelief. Time travel? I said Equus was behind Earth in most respects, not all. The two walked a bit longer in silence, until they reached the perimeter of fence, denoting the end of the property. So what happens to us? Well, from what I understand, there's still a lot of paperwork that both your mother and my parents have to do. Your mother declares that I'm your missing sister, but she's not going to contest the adoption. Then you go back to your life in France, and I continue to live life here. Nothing really changes. Why? And you don't know anything about this? I mean, next week, my mother is going to lie to the world and say that you are my biological sister, but that she's going to let your parents have custody because you didn't grow up with us. There's going to be the questions, both for my family and the world. No, I'm not. Sure, I'm worried about what impact it'll have on my friends and family, and even yours. But I'm not worried about me. Because you got this? Sunset laughed. No, because I have people who love me. A deity can live without worshippers or adherents, but people can't really live without each other. I love my sister, my cousins, my family, and friends. Don't you think the same thing about yours? Won't your friends step up to help you when you need it? I do. And they're the best girls I know, and I'm glad to have them in my life. And to honestly say, I want to be the girl I am now if it weren't for my friends. They started me on this journey where I currently stand. If it wasn't for them, Chernobog would firmly have a hold on me. Sorry, the thought, and Sunset put a comforting hand on his shoulder. Are you worried about her? Simmer looked into Sunset's eyes, terrified. She admitted, I promise you won't ever harm another soul again. Sunset's tone was firm. If she ever tries, I'll do everything in my power to stop her. And I assure you, there won't be a second time. You mean that? When Sunset nodded, Simmer looked at her with astonishment. But you died because of her. Because of me. Stop that. I didn't die because of you. I died because I set things in motion that needed to be set right. Sunset closed her eyes for a brief second. I don't think anyone intended anyone to die. I feel the loss of every life that happened as guilt, and probably will for a long time. But I don't want you to ever feel guilty for what happened. You were a victim, Shimmer. You were killed as well, if you recall. You didn't agree to that. I know I didn't, but Chitterbox said if it wasn't for the fact I had the right genetics in the right time, I would have been just dead. She claimed that saving my life was a pleasure. She wrapped her arms around herself again, and I thought I was alone as that. At least until I saw you. You're not alone. You have your friends and family. Sunset told her younger counterpart, as they say in my family, can't let your sister down. Simmer looked at her doppelganger. I don't have a sister. Sunset hugged Shimmer. Yes, you do. As the older held the younger one, she could feel Shimmer briefly cry. Sunset wasn't sure why, but somehow she knew that she needed this. Somehow, she knew it was the right thing to do. After a couple of minutes, Shimmer let her go, and looked at the girl who was her yet not her. I have one last question, if you don't mind. Plus, I'm sure my mother's going to want to know as well. I'll answer as best as I can. That girl that my parents buried, the stillborn baby, is that baby's sister? I don't know, and I don't think you should either, Sunset told her delicately. I suppose I could come find out, but to do that, in my opinion, would be wrong. Not because I want to hide anything from you, but... No, I get what you mean. Because to dwell on it would reopen those wounds, Simmer offered. Your mother had those memories now due to the time change my grandmother made. Sunset reminded her. And you said that even in the old timeline, she had a stillborn child anyway. It's entirely possible that in this timeline, we weren't twins, but triplets. At least as far as the world will know. And can you imagine how much pain all this will bring back to your mother? I know. We're lucky to have Steph here. Simmer nodded. Plus, now that he's in our lives, I'm apparently going to be an older sister myself. Nice! It's worth every bit of it. Sunset said with a sincerely loving smile, the kind that made Shimmer realize how true that was. Well, dinner's probably ready, Sunset told her. We should be heading back. Then we could talk about other things. Other things? Typical girl stuff with my friends, Sunset said with a smile. You're going to be in town for the next 2 weeks. Might as well get to know them. Trust me, you'll like them. And they'll like you. Yes, sir. They won't mind. Sunset waved it off. Hey, we're twins, right? I guarantee both of us come up with things that our sisters think are weird. Shimmer leaned against Sunset, a smile across her face. I grew up without a sister, Sonny. You have a lot to make up for. Sunset smiled. I'll do my best. Now kiss. They've been gone a long time. Think they're okay? Rarity asked. Piggy looked irritated. That other Sunset better not be trying to steal my sunset. Before anyone could correct her, she merely added, again, if she does, maybe I can have both. Someone stop her from being too creepy, Rainbow groaned. Pinky! 5 voices suddenly said, perfect synchronized approachment. Rainbow blinked. Okay, that's even creepier. Well, this is gonna take a lot of getting used to, Applejack muttered. Now I'm sure I don't want to live in this weird world, Raspberry muttered. Seeing not too far away, the adults present looked at the teens. You know, it's weird. Yesterday we were all fighting for our lives, Zephyr commented, and now it's like it never happened. Because it didn't, Celestia told him. I think we all have memories, and reality changed for us the past few hours. A life that we lived never happened. Lives we never knew have always been there. Anyone else confused? Solaire asked, because I know I am. Sorry, Phil began. Oh no then, certainly not that. I certainly mean what I said. Your sunset will stay with you. In fact, the reason we are here is because my daughter wishes to talk to yours. We certainly hadn't planned that, nor did we know you two were having dinner with friends tonight. This was strung together a lot last moment, because we wanted to compare notes as to what changed. Wonderful, Celeste said, simply smiling as he did so. When the others looked at her, she added, "You are so worried about how the world has changed, and I understand it. But from what I gathered from the Faust woman, she assured that we will all have, as artists seem to say it, happy endings. Perhaps a reward for everything we've been through, or perhaps preparation for what comes next." The adults looked at each other, but did not say one thing. Finally, Celestia spoke. "You don't think this is over, do you?" "My family just went through a succession crisis, Tia. I had to leave here to support my father as prince and princess and head of the household, and I got involved in family intrigue as a result, and I could not return here with my daughter, where we would have rather lived. On the other hand, you're dealing with a sweet girl who is a neophyte literary deity. What could potentially be coming our way that will make my family went through look like a philosophical debate in comparison?" Sable looked at his girlfriend's look-alike. "That is not something I really wanted to hear, Sully." "None of us do. My daughter and I could still potentially be in danger once more, this time because of Sunset's existence, not merely because my family spawned a megalomaniac. You'll need to be careful." "Those girls need military training," Sable commented, briefly looking at the triplets, the former sirens. "There was a reason in this timeline. Clearly because Faust felt Sunset needed protectors."
"They needed protection as well,"
Velvet said defensively. "Besides, based on this morning, they hardly need further training.
Somehow they retrained everything from their past lives."
"Not surprised," Sable said, "but combat training is a very perishable skill. You lose your edge if you don't hone it regularly."
"Are you volunteering?"
Zephyr asked him. "Yeah. Probably crazy, but yeah. Those girls need grounding. As someone who has been there before, and even though they're capable, I can guarantee they haven't seen half the shit you and I have."
"Well, better you than me, I guess," Zephyr replied. "I'm getting too old for this shit."
So we ask them?"
Arya asked her sisters.
"Well, we should really talk this over with Sunny tonight. She might say no,"
Sanaa asked.
"She'll say yes. We're here because we have to protect her. We still need her, so you'll still need her sirens. But we can't be the same sirens we once were. So maybe having adult supervision should rectify it."
"Girls, what are you three talking about?"
Twilight asked.
"Siren stuff,"
Adazio told her cousin.
We don't want to leave you three out, but I'm not sure how much of this you want to be privy for.
"We're all in this together," Octavia reminded them.
Adazio explained. "When we were sirens, we had a superior officer that was reported to be that was male. As sexist as it sounds, someone thought that having an ancillary father figure for all of us would be a calming factor. It was the death of the last admiral overseeing sirens that made the organization rebel."
"Yeah, the fact that it turned out that some of our own assassinated him was conveniently left out of the information briefing," Arya seethed.
"The point is, we've fought along Sable, and he's tied to Celestia, which makes him a potential candidate. Have you asked him? We have to clear it through Sunny first. I'm sure she'll want input." By the time Sunset Simmer arrived back at the table, just about everyone was staring at them.
"Is this normal for you?"
Simmer asked her counterpart. "I gave up trying to figure out what was normal a long time ago, Jimmy," Sunset sighed.
A reality away, Linda Watts' cadence walked out of the room.
The defeated look on her face, her mascara smeared slightly.
"Any chance?" she asked her niece.
"I do believe that Sunset is gone," the Alcor said to the others, "and there's no changing your mind. As you say, it might be true."
Linda frowned. "There must be a way to repair all this. Perhaps Discord." "Do you really think he would fix something?" Shining asked her incredulously.
"No, not really," Kane said. "But even he knows there are limits to these things. In either case, I suspect he'll be quite busy for some time, hunting down for leftovers of T-Rex forces."
"Perhaps Twilight and I should get to work on seeing what we can do to open the portal and repair the end of the rest of the ley line," Luna stated. "We cannot afford to have my sister in this state, the worries of what it'll do to her notwithstanding." "Twilight's not in the best of situations right now," Shiny told the Alicorns. "She had to tell the others about Raz's death.
Needless to say, aside from the sense of rebuilding and such that Polyphil will need, so you'll need time alone to grieve with the others. In my haste, I've forgotten about that, Luna said with a hint of guilt in her voice. So Sunset's fate must wait for now. Hers isn't the only fate that needs to be discussed. We need to discuss Pavane's too. Pavane Bayan, the princess's hoof that died escorting Raz? Sai asked. She's a hero for what she did. Certainly. I'm sure I can speak to Castilian who will arrange a hero's funeral. It's more than that, Shiny, his wife told him. It's far more than you think. A couple of hours later, the afternoon sun had moved closer to the western horizon to signal the end of the day. However, to sunset, it seemed to do so reluctantly, as if somehow she could feel it not wanting to stop shining on her now. It was an odd feeling. Go, she told it softly. You had to do what you do long before I was here. She knew it was an inanimate object, and not the semi-imbued thing of magic that she had grown up with. But somehow it seemed like the right thing to say. Because he had said it, the feeling of reluctance vanished softly.
Sunny!
She immediately felt two arms clamped around her.
Get swimming with us!
Pinky? The jubilant teen turned and smiled, her bright blue eyes laser focused on Sunset's own.
Yes?
Would you stop fondling me?
Oh!
Pinky removed her hands from the offending locations of Bless.
I would make it up for you if I let you fondle me.
Pinky.
Just give me a second to take my top off.
Pinky.
You could do other things to me, too. I wouldn't mind, really. She blushed again. Actually, I'm kind of hoping you would do other things to me.
Sunset sighed and pulled Pinky's top back down. Pinky, we need to talk. Those words seemed to trigger something in Pinky, because she looked at Sunset with some fear.
No.
Pinky, for starters, I came over here by myself because I needed some time to think, not because I was doing a come hither. Secondly, I know why you're feeling the way you are, and that's part of the reason why I came over here to think. But now you're here makes it easier.
You're going to dump me?
Pinky asked. No, Pinky, I'm not going to dump you because we're not dating, Sunset explained. Listen, what I'm about to tell you is not going to make sense, but it is the truth. Maybe not our truth, but the truth nonetheless, and I need you to trust me.
You know I do.
Pinky sat down next to Sunset, leaning against her shoulder.
We're not anyone in this world.
When my grandmother changed things, she, well, didn't exactly change things per se. Rather, what she did was reconstructed the timeline from bits and pieces of other timelines and parts. Some of the quantum strings of time make sense, some of them don't. Sunset snapped her fingers, and countless glowing auras appeared around them both. Some made sense in some contexts, while some did not. You wouldn't be the only one. Sunset reached out and picked up one of the orbs. In it was a small image of Sunset and the girls, along with Princess Twilight facing off against the triplets. Yet somehow they were magically imbued and evil. Like I said, some of them really don't make sense. Pinky looked at reality that the orb showed.
This isn't real, is it?
It is and it isn't. In another time and place maybe it is, but this is our reality. Our reality isn't the one it was yesterday, in a manner of speaking. She let the orb go and vanished. She reached out and picked up another one. In it showed a 30-year-old Fluttershy in an army uniform, carrying a gun and a grim look on her face. Some of them will ever make sense. Pinky looked at that one too.
Why are you showing me this?
Because I know what you are, Pinky. And it saddens and comforts and scares me all at once.
Why? I would never hurt you.
I know that. Believe me, I do. It has nothing to do with that. I can't explain why or exactly what I mean. It's not for you to know now, but to find out in time. Sunset gave her friend a sad smile. But that doesn't have to do why your feelings with me have gotten stronger.
I know they have. I know you don't like it, but I can't help the way I feel.
Sunset nodded. I know. She then reached inside Pinky and plucked an orb out, much to the cotton candy girl's surprise. This is why. Pinky looked at the orb, seeing her and Sunset making love within.
Is this real?
It's the truth, Sunset said, blushing as she saw the image of her and the orb doing that she had never thought of. As I said earlier, it's not our truth, but one nonetheless. In any case, these quantum strings got, for lack of a better term, stuck within you. That's why you feel the way you do. Well, the intensity in any case. Pinky looked at the orb and a feeling of longing came over her. She reached out to Sunset and then forced herself to lower her hand. Because in some reality, we're lovers? She asked herself. Because in some reality, we're married. Sunset held the orb in her hand. Pinky, I can make this go away if you want. But if I do, it'll change your feelings about me.
No.
The answer was instantaneous.
Put it back.
It's not meant to be, Pinky. Neophyte Goddess said, gesturing to cut off reality within. I don't feel that way about you, and I probably never will.
I know, but it's how I feel about you. And clearly, somewhere you feels that way about me. Maybe that's enough.
She smiled sadly.
I will master my feelings to get them under control. I'm the master of who I am, not the other way around.
Are you sure? Pinky nodded. Sunset slipped the ball in, and Pinky cooed to touch. Reluctantly moaning, Sunset removed her fingers. Are you sure you're going to get a hold of that? Sunset wondered when she was done.
Sunny?
Sunset looked at her friend, and Pinky suddenly looked abysmally sad. She then held her friend. Sunset returned the embrace.
I love you. You know that?
I know, Pinky. I love you too, in my own way.
I know. I just wish you could love me. If it makes sense.
She sobbed. The two sat in the tree line until nightfall, not moving, but instead in each other's company.
Oh, come on, somebody bang already!